there. I have no lighting set up right now at all, like, to do this. I am doing another really random ass moment video because the last one I posted, it was like 20 seconds. I'm pissed off about something. I'm gonna rant to camera, and now I've done another. I'm really pissed off about something, so I'm gonna rant to camera. So no makeup on. I've got discoloration on my lower mouth, which looks like a fucking nice sexual disease from sucking dick. But no, it's just because I got really dry skin and God hates me. So I look awful, and this is me in my pure form. I was just reading, I was going through Tumblr, I'm so tired. I was going through my Facebook, you know, a bit bored. I should be working on my dissertation, but I've got headaches, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to chill on my phone for a bit. And I come across a post that, not person that I know, but you know when people like stuff, you get to see their post. And this was about someone's blue badge. And if you don't know what a blue badge is, a blue badge is if you're disabled, it gives you access to a disabled person's badge on the tube. It gives you access to like disabled parking. And it's something that's really helpful for people who are disabled. And of course, people are disabled with, you know, invisible disabilities and visible disabilities. And people who have visible disabilities tend to be taken a bit more seriously than people with invisible. And that's just a big prejudice that people have, and it's something that's hopefully going away with time, but it's something that happens. So bless this person, they got their blue badge finally, but the person who was doing the assessment made fun of people with seizures, and this is a person that has seizures apparently, and that made comments about disabled people. How the fuck do you get into a job like that where you're giving people, you're basically making a choice of whether or not someone's disabled or not, and you joke about bullshit like that? Now, that was not the thing that pissed me off, because that I was kind of like, you know what, I kind of expect that from the government, because they're not that great. The thing that got me was, someone commented on it, there was loads of comments, but this one comment thread like went down. And it was talking about how people react on the train to... Is the lighting better here? You know what? I'm going to go from here because it looks a bit better, because you can see my face a bit more. Overhead lighting is a nightmare. It's about people on the train, and if you have a condition which has an issue with standing or something happens on the train, how people treat you. Now, this was two people's threads, and they were running down discussing how one of them had an issue on the platform where they had a seizure, and then they had fainted on the platform, and the other person was saying how they asked a dude who was sitting in the disabled seat if they could have that seat, because if they stand too long they get a seizure. Very similar to my condition, except that I don't have a seizure, I faint because I can't get blood to my head. Oxygen fails. And this dude on the disabled seat said, like, I don't believe you. Fuck off. And so, what a surprise, this person was shamed into silence and then had a seizure and then fainted on the fucker. And the other person who was on the platform, again, people were really concerned that it would affect their train times. Now, I understand commuter bullshit, because sometimes when you're on a train and you really just want to get home, it's rough. But both of these comments, and I read a few of the other comments, talked about something in particular, which was the fact that most people assumed that they were drunk or on drugs. I have had the exact same experience, but my story was made a bit worse, not with like in comparison, we're not trying to compare stories like a dick measuring contest. I was going back, preface this story, it is Pride March London, it's one of the biggest marches, and I've been standing for 3 hours against a banister, and usually if I'm against a banister I can lean on it. I don't feel so great, but I can not faint because I'm jumping up and down. I keep myself moving. It helps get the blood back to my head so I don't faint or have a blackout. And I really started to feel just so sick. I think it was the fumes from the buses with the floats going by, or it was something, but I was feeling so ill. Nauseous, headache, shaky, couldn't stop fucking shaking for the life of me. And the moment I get cold in my hands and cold in my feet, I know that my circulation's not working anymore. So I said goodbye to my friends. They said, do you want any help getting to your train station? I was like, you know what? No, I can make it back. I've done this 1,000 times before. And I got to the tube.
Are you sure about that?
Drag. This is where the issue comes in. I was in drag. I was in like a green, black Lolita style dress. I looked damn fine. Can I just say that now? I got onto the tube of the train. No one was standing, but there was people sitting, so there wasn't any seats. And I just whacked. I got onto like the middle of the tube, like was gonna just stand with the bar, and I just remember hitting the glass and falling down it, like a slow slide that was really kind of sad. And I wasn't unconscious because I was shaking uncontrollably because my muscle spasms just hit off at that point. But I was so out of it that I couldn't really say anything to ask for help or anything like that. But the thing that got me was in that situation was the fact that everyone was suddenly so fucking preoccupied with their phones or looking in the opposite direction. And there was like, the carriage went into fucking silence to ignore me. Luckily that moment passed, and when I lose consciousness or have one of these moments, luckily they don't last a long time unless I've hurt myself on the fall down. So I kind of regained consciousness, kind of sat up against the side, then stood up again and got off at the next station to like find a place to like drink water and stay seated for quite a while. But it was, again, you could see the revulsion in people's eyes. And it was horrific because if I'd come on the train with a walking stick that I do carry around in my bag for these reasons, people would have probably stood up to help me. But because I looked able-bodied, because I had a fuck ton of makeup on, obviously if you put makeup on you must not be disabled, because if you're disabled you must look sad. You must look very sad at your life, because your life must be a sad thing. You must always be ill, so thus you must be sad. I had makeup on, I had a wig on, I was in a Lolita, and no one helped. And the sad thing is, it's not just that. I mean, that definitely was one of the reasons why people were trying to avoid me. But the other thing is that this has happened a few times on train stations where I've just gone down in normal clothing with no makeup on, because why would I wear makeup constantly? And people have ignored me for no real good reason. Not great. I can say that now, not great. And this really, really bothered me, because I'm reading these comments on Facebook, I'm watching it all go down, and person after person is saying people thought I was drunk, people thought I was on drugs, people didn't do anything. And it just leaves me with the question, is how fucking bad is our education system in this country that people don't understand the fact that a person can have a mental issue, a physical issue, without it being visible. And it can be incredibly serious. It blows my mind. And I'm sorry, this isn't a funny video, although you can always laugh at me. You know, I'm always up for being laughed at, because that's what I enjoy. I like making people laugh. This is sad. And this is why I'm doing this video to camera, because I am very lucky to have a following. And I can only really bloody hope that if you're an able-bodied person, you haven't had to deal with someone like me before, and someone comes up to you on a train or anywhere really and explains something and says, I need a bit of help, that your first thought won't be, they're drunk. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't already think that, because most of my followers are absolute delights. And I love you all. But that's kind of where I'm at right now mentally. And I might do another video, because now I'm in a talkative mood. So thank you guys very much for listening in. I am Apollo Cosplay. If you like what I do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I have a few interesting websites down below in the description. And if you like me, you shouldn't, but have a nice evening nonetheless.